right, to get a deeper sense of what next week's DNC has in store, Democratic strategist Joel Rubin joins us now. Good morning to you and good to see you. So President Biden is kicking things off on Monday night. Some strategists are really looking for Vice President Harris to really carve out her own identity and kind of step out there. So what does she need to do next week in order to do that and check that off the list?
Well, Alex, it's great to be with you and Rob. What the vice president is doing in these days leading up to the convention really demonstrates the kind of approach that she's taking. She's ensuring that diverse coalitions that support the Democratic Party are coming together in a unified manner. She's getting excitement. She's putting a vision forward about how she wants to ensure that the country moves forward and doesn't go backwards. And she has deployed this vice president nominee and Tim Walz to really make hard-hitting, edgy attacks against Donald Trump and against J.D. Vance as well. And I think next week we're going to see a whole cacophony of voices from all the corners of the Democratic Party saying the same type of objective, which is to get her into the White House and unifying all of that together in a way that, frankly, I haven't seen since at least 2008.
And again, to your point, it's a chance to reintroduce and redefine herself, fully stepping out from the Biden shadow here. Because compared to other candidates, it's not the thickest resume. It was a fairly low-profile vice presidency, at least before the abortion rights issue came to the forefront. So she has a lot of who I am and what I'm for moments to have, we hope, in this campaign. She is going to reveal her economic plan later today. Some details have already kind of been leaked out or reported out, which is interesting. But the macro data right now is actually really good. But people are still judging the economy by what they're paying at the grocery store. What can she say today in North Carolina to ease some of that ongoing frustration?
Yeah, look, Rob, to your last question first. We see inflation cooling to under 3% at an annualized rate now. We have the strongest labor market in 50-plus years with 16 million jobs created under the Biden-Harris administration and record low unemployment. We see stock market up significantly, much more than double from when Donald Trump was in the White House. These are crucial economic indicators. And you add to that, this is the 2-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act, a nearly $400 billion investment in the future of America's economy, a clean energy economy. And so those are accomplishments that she can talk about as the vice president. You know, this idea that she has a thin resume, a woman who's nearly 60 years old that served at the highest levels in California, was the United States Senator and the vice president for the past 3.5 years. That's a very thick resume from my perspective. It just now is one that she needs to make sure that people understand the role she's played. And I think that that's what she's going to continue to do. And on the economic points in particular today, but all next week, going back to the first part of our discussion, all next week is going to be about her and what she's done as part of this period of economic recovery here in the United States.
We've had a lot of Democratic strategists on the show, and I've always asked this question, especially recently, because some of the complaints that come when voters are talking about Vice President Harris is that she hasn't done many unscripted events. She hasn't done an interview, a big interview, to really understand what her platform is. At this point, a month in, do you think that she has to, when it seems like former President Trump and J.D. Vance are really struggling to kind of pinpoint and land a punch? Does she have to at this point? Should we expect that after the DNC for one of those sit-down moments?
Yeah, I believe she's already committed to doing one, and I think that she would be great in that format. I'm not at all worried about that. You know, as your lead-in described, this is a fast-moving campaign, and building the airplane while it's flying is sort of the anecdote to use. I mean, they are building a team. They are putting in staff in critical roles on top of the already strong Biden operation from before. And so that's got to be the priority, making sure the funds are coming in, that the team knows where it needs to deploy, the battleground states in particular. And so these interviews, it will come in due time. But I do think introducing her, as it is happening now with crucial events in enthusiastic venues, plus the convention, that lays the baseline of enthusiasm and excitement for her that she can then go pivot in these interviews and really reach the independent voters who are the critical determinants of the races in the swing states, and that will carry this election. But I'm not worried about her performance in those. I just think it's a matter of sequencing, timing, and the compressed nature of her schedule as a nominee.
And real quick, because I think this is important, on Monday night, we get Joe Biden's farewell song to his public life. And let's be honest, he's been through a lot the last few weeks from an ego standpoint, a legacy standpoint, just as a human being, to be told to step aside and then be pressured to do it. And then once you did it, the world shows up for your VP. Money, volunteers, energy, the polls tighten. That's a bitter pill to swallow. He will be gracious, of course, but this will be a legacy defining speech for him as he tries to leave on his own terms. What do you think that moment will be like from him, and what do you think the message will be, even though he's passing the torch with, after the party brass came and kind of pushed his arm to do it?
Yeah, you know, Rob, I think we're going to see a grateful Joe Biden. You know, this is the way he's been communicating. He was just at a joint event yesterday with the vice president where he spoke about his gratitude, his years of service, and he spoke with a vigor and an energy in attacking Donald Trump as well that we hadn't seen in quite some time. You know, this is a man who has seen it all. He's done 50 years of public service, and I think it's a strong mark if your successor gets people more excited than yourself, right? Like, think about it, as a parent, I would love it if my children succeed and are effective in their worlds in ways that surpass me, right? Like, this is the way we want the world to go. And so for him to see his vice president flourish should be a point of pride for him. I think that you're going to see a lot of love for Joe Biden at this convention, a lot of recognition of what he did by saving the country in 2020, and a recognition that by moving aside, he has allowed this flourishing of energy in the Democratic Party to go forward. And I think we'll see a grateful person on the stage.
All right, Democratic strategist Joel Rubin, thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll see you in Chicago next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.